Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are returning online, please confirm to me. Get my voice on screen. Please confirm to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Type in chat window. Type in chat window. Getting my voice on screen. No response. Yes, confirm to me. So DV Reddy, Gopi Chand, and Raja Gumadi, Shivakumar, Soumya Nambur, Tejarani are getting my voice now. Right. Good morning, guys. Right, sir. Now, if you observe the content what I completed in the last class, so differences between Java and others we are discussing there. In the differences between Java and others, overall, two differences we completed already. What are the two differences we completed there? First one is C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is which one? Dynamic programming language. This is one point. Next one, after that, I given some clarity on it. If any programming language allows memory allocation for primitive data types at a compilation time, then that programming language is called as which one? Static programming language. If any programming language allows memory allocation for primitive data types at runtime, then that programming language is called as which one? Dynamic programming language. Right, sir. Next one is another important content I discussed with you. Preprocessor is required in C and C++, whereas preprocessor is not required in the case of Java. They are given clarity. If you want to understand that, first we have to understand the location where preprocessor is available. As I given one diagram also there regarding the compilation. Right, so I think so that diagram is not existed. On minute wait. I'll show the diagram once again. Right. Observe this diagram here. If you observe this compilation here, inside the compilation overall, how many parts are available here now? Four phases are available. Preprocessor, compiler, assembler, loader, link editor. Okay, fine. Location of the preprocessor is which one? Part of the compilation here. That's okay, fine. Next one. Coming to the next point here. If we come for C and C++, inside the C and C++, the total predefined library is provided in the form of which one? Header files. What are the various header files we are having there now? Yesterday.h, conio.h, math.h, and so on. Next one is which one? Then after that, if you want to use this predefined library in our C and C++ programs, first we have to include this library to the predefined C program. To include these header files to the C program, we have to use which one? Hash include yesterday.h, hash include conio.h, hash include math.h. Hash include statements here we have to provide. Okay, fine. If we compile C program, then preprocessor will recognize all these hash include statements. Preprocessor will take the provided header files names. Preprocessor will search for these header files inside the C software, and preprocessor will take that header files. Preprocessor will load the header files content to the memory. Loading predefined library to the memory at a compilation time is called as which one can know? Static loading. This type of loading is called as which one? No, static loading. Observe this. Okay, fine. Next one is which one? What is the requirement of the preprocessor in C programming language? If we come for the conclusion is very clear. What about this conclusion? No. To recognize hash include statements in order to load header files content to the memory, we need preprocessor in the case of C and C++. Next one, why preprocessor is not required in the case of Java? If we come for this point, the answer is very clear. In case of Java, the total predefined library was provided in the form of classes and interfaces inside the packages. What are the various examples for these packages now? Java.io, Java.util, Java.sql, and so on. These are the packages that existed here. That's fine. If you want to include these packages into the Java applications, no, we need to use import statement. Import java.io.star, import java.util.star, and import java.sql.star. Where star is representing which one, all classes and interfaces from the packages. Next one. If we compile any Java program, then what compiler will do now? Compiler will recognize all these import statements, not preprocessor. Compiler will recognize all import statements. Compiler will take which one, all the names, java.io, java.util, java.sql, package names it will take. Compiler will go to the Java software. Compiler will search for these packages inside the Java software. If these packages are not available, error will be raised. If these packages are available inside the Java software, compiler will not raise any error. At the same time, compiler will not load any package content to the memory. Why? Because compiler responsibility is only checking the package, not to load the package content to the memory. Okay, compiler is not doing that, but who will load that one? Who will load this package content to the memory? JVM will do that. At runtime, while executing our program, JVM will recognize our package content. JVM will load that package related content to the memory. This is what exactly the requirement of which one, responsibility of which one, that import statements and respect to JVM, identify this. Coming to the conclusion. In the case of Java, preprocessor is not required. Why preprocessor is not required here? So in Java, hash include statements are not available. Why hash include statements are not available in Java? Header files are not available. Okay, header files are not available, but alternatively, which statements are available? So classes and interfaces in the form of packages are available. Okay, in place of hash include statement, import statement is available. In place of preprocessor, compiler and JVMs are available clearly. So number of alternatives are available there. So because of this reason, preprocessor is not at all required in the case of which one? No, Java. But preprocessor is required in the case of which one? No, C and C++. That's all. This is what exactly the content here we can understand. Next one, important interview question I have given, sir. What was the question here I have given there? What are the differences between hash include statement and import statement I have given? What is the first difference I have given there? No, hash include statements are available in C and C++, whereas import statements are available in Java. Next one here. Hash include statements are used to include predefined library exists in the form of which one, header files. But next one, import statements are used to include the predefined library existed in the form of which one, classes and interfaces in packages. Next one, after that, hash include statements are recognized by preprocessor and import statements are recognized by both compiler and JVM. Hash include statements are supporting static loading and import statements are supporting which one, dynamic loading. Next one is which one? By using single hash include statement, we are able to include only one header file. But by using single import statement, we are able to include more than one class or more than one interface of the same package. Examples are given. 3 header files I want to include. 3 times hash include statements we have written. But only one package I want to include here now. So one package I want to include, but more than one class or more than one interface of the java.io package I want to include, so that only one import statement is sufficient. That's now tell me in which case number of instructions are increased no? In C or Java? In C programming language, number of instructions are increased. Why? Because 3 times we have written which one they know hash include statement. But in the case of Java, how many statements we have written? No, only one statement here. Where application length will be reduced in Java and C++. In Java, application length will be reduced. Application length will be increased in which case? No, C and C++. That's it. Next one. After that, just we started which one there? Next, third difference. What about this third difference here? C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is which one? Platform independent programming language. That's it. C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is platform independent programming language. Before understanding platform dependent programming languages and platform independent programming languages, before understanding that, first we have to confirm what is platform dependent programming language and what is platform independent programming language. First we have to confirm that. After that we will think about which one there no platform dependent and platform independent programming languages. Good sir. Answer is very clear. Try to understand it. No. If any programming language allows its applications, understand it first of all. If any programming language allows its applications to compile and execute on the same operating system, on the same operating system, on the same operating system. If any programming language allows its applications to compile and execute on the same operating system, then that programming language is called as platform dependent programming language. Tell me, sir, what is the definition for platform dependent programming language? If any programming language allows its applications to compile and execute, both must be performed on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems. For example, if I use Windows operating system, there itself compilation we have to perform and there itself execution we have to perform. Not possible to perform compilation on one operating system, not possible to perform execution on another operating system. So compilation and execution must be performed on the same operating system. So this type of programming language is called as, which one you know, platform dependent programming language. Examples. Which programming languages are treated as platform dependent programming languages? C and C++. Or which one you know, platform dependent programming languages? C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages. Good sir. C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages. But how can we say C and C++ are platform dependent? What is the reason for that? Why C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages? What exactly the reason for that? I'll give clarity. All of you observe this one. For example, I'll take a C program. C program in the sense you can understand it, it is .C. Right sir. Next one, I need to go for compilation. This is compilation. Fine. After compilation of our program, we are able to get which one you know .exe files. Which files we are getting there no .exe files. When we are getting .exe files, immediately we have to execute this. So we must go for which one you know execution. Who's executing our programs? C, that means C engine will execute our programs. When we execute these programs there, what we are able to get after that? After that, we are able to get which one you know outputs. Here we are able to get which one there no outputs. Good. C program here we prepared, compilation we performed. After completion of our compilation, we are able to get which one .exe file. When we give this .exe file to the execution, there we are able to get which one you know output. As per the definition, what I am telling there, compilation must be performed. Compilation and execution must be performed on the same operating system. For example, for compilation, if I use Windows operating system I've used it for compilation. So as per the theory, the execution must also be performed on which one? Same Windows operating system. Compilation will be performed on Windows. So execution must also be on Windows here as per the definition. We can think about it. I've used which one? Windows. That's okay. Now our programming language is which one? No, platform dependent programming language. But how? Even though we provided same operating system, but how it is possible to execute it? And why it is mandatory condition to use the same operating system for both compilation and execution? These points we have to understand. For that, for our clarity purpose, what I am trying to do now, for runtime I don't want to use Windows. Let's say for example, I want to use Linux for example. Example, for discussion point of view, I'm going to use two different operating systems for compilation and for execution. Let us see what we are going to get. What will happen? We want to understand that. Alright, sir. Observe this one. If you are trying to perform execution on Linux now, this execution part, execution must require code. Execution must require code as per which one Linux, as per Linux representations, as per Linux representations. Execution must require code as per Linux representation. From one operating system to another operating system, expect the same type of representations are going on in all the cases. From one operating system to another operating system, data representations are going on. Everybody understand this one? Okay, sir. Good. So execution, we are trying to perform on Linux. So execution must require that the code as per which one there no Linux representations. This is one point. Next, come for this point. We compile our C program on Windows operating system or not? So inside this Windows operating system, what happened here? No, some executable code we are getting, machine code we are getting, binary code we are getting there. This is which one? Execution. Right, sir. This is executable code. What exactly this code can now try to recognize this? No. What exactly this particular code can? .exe file contains directly executable code. .class file contains which code can now directly executable code, and it is following Windows operating system representations. Why? Because it was compiled on the top of which one? Windows operating system. So the generated .exe file contains Windows representations. The generated .exe files contains which one? No? Windows representations. Identify this. Generated .exe file contains Windows representations. Okay. Now this .exe file contains Windows representations. But if you want to execute this program on Linux now, the .exe file must be available with which representations? No, Linux. But understand it no. Here we are providing .exe file as per which one? Windows. But for execution, what we required now? Linux we required here. Some mismatch is getting or not? We are getting some mismatch or not? Some gap is coming or not? So incompatibility we are getting. So because of this reason, our program will not be executed. We are providing Windows representations, but execution requires Linux representations. So we are unable to execute our program now. Why? Because incompatibility we are getting. Executable code point of view, incompatibility we are getting. So we are unable to run these examples clearly. But if you want to make it is executable, if you want to run this example, if you want to make it is executable, so what we have to do now? If you want to run this example, what we have to do here? Nothing, sir. No other option for us. What we have to do there? No. Here, whatever the operating system here we have used, which operating system here we have used so far here, no? Linux we have used here. Just we have to remove this Linux here. In place of this Linux, which operating system here we must provide here, no? Windows here. Now, if you provide Windows operating system for this execution, now definitely that execution must require which representation of Linux. So definitely here we require which one, you know, Windows operating system representations. Now see the situation now. We compiled our program in Windows. .exe file is generated. The .exe file is having Windows representations. Now our execution is going on the same Windows scale. Execution must require which one? Windows. Both are matched or not? Our provided things are in Windows. Required things are in which one? Then Windows. So both are matched here. So we will not get any compilation. We will not get any problem here. Our program will be executed. We will not get any incompatibility, so our program will be executed. Finally we are able to get some output. That's all. This is what exactly the meaning of which one here, no? Execution platform dependent programming languages. This is the meaning of which one here, no? Platform dependent programming languages. Everybody must understand this one. Okay, fine, this is completed. This is the meaning of platform dependent. Okay, sir. Similarly, how can we specify platform independent programming languages? Similarly, how can we specify platform independent programming languages? What is the definition for platform independent programming languages? These points here we have to understand. That's it. All of you observe this. I want to give some definition for that. What is platform independent? If any programming language allows its applications to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating system. If any programming language allows its applications to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating system, then if any programming language allows its applications to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating system, then that programming language is called as platform independent programming language. Now that programming language is called as which one? Platform independent programming language. This is basic definition for platform independence. Example is which one? Java. Java is the best example for that. Of course, .NET is also a platform independent, no problem. But Java is mainly the platform independent programming language. It's okay. Definition point of view, it's okay. If any programming language allows its applications to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating system, then that programming language is called as platform independent programming language. Definition point of view, it's okay. But how can we prove Java is a platform independent programming language? We have a proof for C programming language, that is platform dependent. Already shown one diagram here. Similarly, how can we prove Java is a platform independent programming language? Any reason for that? Right, sir. I'll give one particular reason for this. Try to understand this. I'll show one more diagram. First of all, I want to show diagram as per the definition. As per the definition, I will show a diagram here. Try to understand this. For example, I will take Java program. This is .java. As usual, I need to compile this program here. Now here we have to perform which one? The compilation. When we compile the .java file, automatically we are able to get which one, dot class file. Dot class file. When we come for this dot class file, I want to execute this dot class file on multiple operating systems, on different operating systems. That is the definition of the platform independent. Compilation is on one operating system. Let's say, for example, I want to take Windows operating system for compilation. Windows operating system for compilation. Now here we have to execute that program there. If you want to execute that program there, then we need to go for different operating systems. We want to go there. Which operating systems here we want to use? This is execution. We want to perform that execution in a particular operating system. That's it. Which operating system we are going to use, I'll decide later on. Now here we are going to get some output. Right, sir. This is one execution. Like this, I want to take multiple executions. This is second one. This is third one. This is fourth one. Right, sir. Now for execution point of view, we want to use different operating systems. Linux we want to use there. Unix we want to use. Next one is Solaris we want to use. Again we want to use which one, Windows for example. Different operating systems we have used. Now check it now. Compilation is going on one operating system, but execution is going on in different operating systems, multiple operating systems, another operating system. So as per the definition, our programming language is which one? Platform dependent or platform independent? Platform independent programming language. Compilation is on one operating system, execution is on another operating system. So platform independent programming language. But here my question is, how it is possible in the case of Java? How it is possible for Java to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating systems? How it is possible? For that we have to understand our content. All of you listen carefully. If we compile Java program on Windows operating system, where dot class file is generated. Tell me, in the case of C programming language, if we compile C program, which files we are getting? .exe file. But in the case of Java, dot class. Recognize clearly. In C and C++, n number of files are available. .c file, .exe file, .a file, .obj file, like n number of files are available. A bit confusion, which file is for which purpose. But in the case of Java, no confusion, only two files. Java file, .java file, .class file. Only two types of files, .java, .class. Before compilation, .java. After compilation, .class. That's it. Before compilation .java, after compilation .class here. This is provided. It's okay. Now listen carefully after this. What exactly the nature of the .class file here? What exactly the nature of the generated .class file here? Here we are having .class file. The nature of the .class file is .class file does not include directly executable code. .class file does not include directly executable code. Okay, .class file includes bytecode. Tell me, .exe file contains directly executable code, but whereas .class file does not include directly executable code. Instead of that, .class files contains which code? Tell me. I given points here. .class files contains which code? Bytecode. .class files contains which one? Bytecode. What is this bytecode actually? What is this bytecode? It is not directly executable code. Okay. It is an intermediate code. It is an intermediate code, and it is not following any of the operating system representations, any of the operating system representations, including Windows. Windows representations are also be not available. Just it is a neutral bytecode. It is an intermediate code. It is not directly executable code. That's it. All of you observe this one. Data class file does not include directly executable code. Data class files includes bytecode. What is the nature of the bytecode? It is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code, and it is not following any of the operating system representations, including which one can know? Windows. Including Windows. It is not representing any of the operating system representation. This is the situation for bytecode and .class file. But coming for the execution, one-time execution is available on Linux. But if you want to run our bytecode on Linux, bytecode must have Linux representation. This is a condition. If you want to execute our bytecode on Unix, no, that bytecode must have Unix representations. But if you want to run our program on Solaris, that bytecode must have Solaris representations. If you want to run our program on Windows, that bytecode must have Windows representations. But now tell me, the generated bytecode is which type of bytecode now? Up to now, the generated bytecode is a neutral bytecode or representing any of the operating system. Neutral bytecode. It is not a directly executable code. It is which one cannot native, that means it is an intermediate code. It is not representing any of the operating system representations. But if you want to run it, that bytecode must represent local operating system representations. If you want to run it on Linux, Linux representations are required. If you want to run it on Unix, Unix representations are required. If you want to run it on Solaris, Solaris representations are required. If you want to run it on Windows, Windows representations are required. But our bytecode is neutral bytecode. It is not representing any of the operating system representations. Again, some gap is coming or not. Our provided one is neutral, but the required thing is which one they know? Local operating system represented. So definitely some gap is coming here in between these two. Some space is coming here in between these two. So in this scenario, we are unable to execute our program. With this content, we are unable to run our example. We are unable to execute our program. But I want to run this example. If you want to execute this program, if you want to run this example, what we have to do there? Exactly in this particular situation, to make execute our Java programs, no, Sun Microsystems has provided conversion mechanisms. Sun Microsystems has provided which mechanisms there? No, conversion mechanisms. What is this conversion mechanism actually? The conversion mechanisms are which one can know? Converting the bytecode from neutral nature to local operating system nature. Like this, some converters are provided by Sun Microsystems. Kernel. That's it. Try to recognize this. Sun Microsystems has provided some conversion mechanisms. Like this, some converters are provided by Sun Microsystems kernel. That's it. Try to recognize this. Sun Microsystems has provided some conversion mechanisms. Like this, some converters are provided by Sun Microsystems kernel. That's it. Try to recognize this. Here exactly converters are provided by Sun Microsystems. This is the right location for this converters kernel. They can expect it. This is which one one type of conversions, and this is which one another type of conversions, and this is exactly another type of conversions, and this is which one another type of conversions. Conversion mechanisms are provided here. Good, sir. What is the job of this first conversion mechanism now? This converter will take neutral bytecode as an input. This converter will convert that neutral bytecode into local operating system representations, that is Linux representations. This converter will take neutral bytecode as an input. It will convert that neutral bytecode into which one they know? Local operating system representations, that is Linux representations they know. Then after that, JVM will, that means execution will be performed on the Linux representation and generating some outputs. Now, what is the job of this converter here now? This converter will take which one here now? Neutral bytecode as an input, and it will convert that neutral bytecode into Unix representations. Now, execution is going on which operating system there? No, Unix representation. Outputs we are able to get here. Next, this converter will take neutral bytecode as an input, and it will convert that neutral bytecode into Solaris representations. That Solaris representations will be executed. We are able to get some outputs here. Next one, here another converter is available. This converter will take neutral bytecode as an input. It will convert that neutral bytecode into Windows operating system representations. Then it will be executed here. And finally, we are getting some outputs. Good, sir. But my question is, how these converters are provided by Sun Microsystems? Sun Microsystems has provided these converters along with execution. Conversions and execution both are provided by Sun Microsystems in the form of a single component. Both conversions and execution both are provided by Sun Microsystems within a single device. The name of the device is which one you know? JVM. That's my point. That conversion mechanism and as well as execution mechanism both are provided in a single component inside the Java. That single component is which one is a JVM. That's it. These are which one? No, JVMs. Now this is JVM and this is JVM and this is also be which one JVM. Right, sir. These are the various JVMs. You can understand it. Tell me, sir, what exactly the JVMs are available? Now tell me in this example, how many JVMs I have used there? One JVM or four JVMs? Think and give answer here. One JVM or four JVMs? Right, sir. Answer is four JVMs. Not one JVM. Four JVMs here we have used. Why, sir? How can we say four JVMs here? Why we are saying this four JVMs here? No, answer is very clear. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. If JVM is not available, Java is not platform independent. If you want to say Java is a platform independent programming language, definitely internally JVM is required. Because of JVMs only, Java is platform independent programming language. But what is this JVM actually? JVM is platform dependent. Java is platform independent programming language, but JVM is platform dependent. JVM is platform dependent. Understand it? What I am telling there. Java is platform independent only, but JVM is which one? No, platform dependent. Good. So, how many operating systems here we have used there? Four operating systems here. On the base of the operating system only, JVM here we have used. So, one JVM is Linux based JVM, another JVM is Unix based JVM, another JVM is Solaris based JVM, another JVM is which one can know? Like Windows based JVM can. Like this, JVMs we have used like this can. So, JVMs are dependent on operating system, but Java programming language is which one? Platform independent. This is a conclusion here we can understand now. Tell me, sir, what exactly the conclusion here we are providing there now? So, Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is which one? Platform dependent. This is an example for that. Not only this JVM, we can conclude that not only JVM, total Java software, total Java software is a platform dependent. Software is different, programming language is different. Java programming language is platform independent, but Java software is which one? They know platform dependent. That means software is nothing but compiler and JVM all are together provided now. The total thing is called as which one? Software. That Java software is platform dependent, but whereas Java is which one? Platform independent programming language. I have a proof, sir. I have a proof for this also. How can we say Java software is a platform dependent? I have a proof of it. Let me show that proof also there. Right, sir. How can we say proof is available? What exactly the proof here we are having there? No. For example, if you want to run Java applications, we need Java software or not? The Java software we have to download from internet. We have to download Java software from internet. The Java software we have to install in our system. Then only we can execute our Java programs. I'll show this total procedure there. How to run our Java applications like this. So I want to go for Google search Java software. I want to download it. Directly I'll go for which one? Oracle. Directly Oracle website I will open. Right, sir. Otherwise I'll go for download. Java download page I want to get. Right. Here itself we can conclude that. So this is not the right one. Right. Now I require this. See all of you observe this one. I want to download my Java software. So to download the Java software, here we have to select the required software. Now the Java software is available on the basis of the operating systems or not. We are going to download our Java software on the basis of which one? No, operating systems. Linux, Mac, Solaris, Windows operating system. Like this we are getting some operating systems or not. So we have to select our Java software on the basis of which one? The respective operating system is we have to select the respective file. Understand it clearly? No? So it shows clearly the Java software is which one? Platform dependent or platform independent? Platform dependent or platform independent? Platform dependent. Java software I'm talking now. This is a proof for that. If you want to download any Java software on the basis of the operating system only, we have to select the respective Java software. So this is which one? Platform dependent or platform independent? Platform dependent. Java software is platform dependent, But Java programming language is which one? No, platform independent. Prepare our program on one operating system, execute our program on another operating system. That is possible. But software is which one? There no. Right. Separately, we have to install one Java software for compilation, another Java software we have to install for which one? No, execution. Why? Because two different operating systems here we are using it. So it shows clearly Java is which one? There no platform. Java programming language platform independent, but whereas Java platform, Java software is which one? No, platform dependent. These are the proofs here we have to understand clearly. Good sir. Now tell me how Java is becoming as platform independent programming language, because of which component here? No, because of which component? No, because of JVMs only. Java is becoming as which one? No, platform independent. But JVM is which one? Platform dependent here. No, this one here we have to recognize clearly. Good sir. Next one. By this we are getting confirmation Java is a platform independent programming language. But here I have a question now. What is my question here clearly? What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? What are the differences between .exe file and a .class file? This answer we require. What are the differences between .exe file and a .class file? Right, sir. .exe file and .class file. First point. Now tell me, as per our awareness, no. .exe file are existed in which programming languages? No. C and C++. Whereas .class files are existed in which one? There no Java. .exe files are exist in C and C++, whereas .class files are exist in no Java. Good sir. This is one point. Next one is which one? After that, what .exe file contains? What .class files contains? .exe files contains directly executable code. .exe files contains directly executable code, whereas .class files contains which code? Can know byte code. .class files contains which code? Can know byte code. Understand it? What is this byte code actually? What is this byte code? Can know it is an intermediate code. That byte code is which one? Can know it is an intermediate code. .exe files contains directly executable code, whereas .class files contains which one? Byte code. What is this byte code actually? It is an intermediate code. It is not directly executable code. Point number 3. .exe files. .exe files. Observe this. .exe files are platform dependent files. Am I right or not? .exe files contains directly executable code, and it is following the local operating system representations where we compiled our C program. Windows operating system we have used for compilation. So .exe file contains Windows representations only. Means that it is platform dependent. .exe file is which file? There no platform dependent. But whereas .class files are which one? You know, platform independent. .class files are which one? They know platform independent files. .exe files are platform dependent files, whereas .class files are which one? They know platform independent files. Everybody must understand these points. Next one, last one. One more point here. .exe files are able to provide lesser security for our applications. This is general information, sir. General point only. And .class files are able to provide more security. .exe files are able to provide lesser security for our applications, whereas .class files are able to provide more security. Lesser security and more security. .exe files are able to provide lesser security for our applications, whereas .class files are able to provide more security for our applications. These are the four differences here we can understand. See, in general, why I am giving that fourth point? No, if you observe in outside there, majority of the viruses related softwares are provided in the form of .exe files, but no virus related files are existed in the form of which one? No, .class files. So by that we can understand it is very simple to include viruses related softwares in the form of which one? No, .exe files. It is not at all possible to include viruses related softwares inside which one? .class files. That's why .exe file is able to provide less security, whereas .class file is able to provide which one? More security. Tell me, what are the various differences can be understood about this? First one is which one there? No, .exe files are exist in C and C++, whereas .class files are exist in Java. .exe files contains directly executable code. .class files contains which one here? Byte code. It is an intermediate code here. Next one is which one? .exe files are platform dependent files, whereas .class files are which one? There no platform independent files here. Next one is .exe files are able to provide lesser security for our applications data, whereas .class files are able to provide more security for our applications data. Right? That's all. These are the differences here. Now try to check it. What exactly the points here we understood here. Point is which one? C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is which one? No, platform independent programming language. How can we say this point here? If any programming language allows its applications to compile and execute on the same operating system, then that programming language is called as which one? Platform dependent programming language. Examples are C and C++. How can we say C and C++ are examples for platform dependent programming languages? No. Here we have taken one example. If we compile C program on Windows operating system, then .exe file is generated. What is the nature of this .exe file? This .exe file contains directly executable code and it is following Windows operating system representations here. Okay, fine. Whereas, okay, fine. Next one is which one? Then after that, if you are getting this .exe file as per this Windows operating systems, no. But if you want to execute that program in Linux operating system, it is not possible. Why? Because if you use Linux operating system for execution, our .exe file must require Linux representations. But here we are providing which one? No, Windows. So if you want to execute our program for runtime, also we have to use the same operating system what we provided at the time of compilation. For compilation, we have used Windows. So definitely for execution, we have to provide which one? They know the same Windows operating system. Next one is after that, from independent programming language. If any programming language allows its applications to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating system, then that programming language is called as which one? No, platform independent. Say Java is a. If you observe this diagram here, if we compile system, then a .class file here we are getting. What is the nature of this .class file here from this? No, nature of the .class file is very clear. .class files does not include directly executable code. .class files includes byte code. It is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code, and it is not following any of the operating system representations, including Windows. Including Windows, it is not following any of the operating system representations. So here .java is available. Compilation we are performing on Windows operating system, where we are getting which one here? No, .class file. Okay, fine. .class file is not having any directly executable code. But the point is which one? If you want to run this .class file in any of the operating system, then the .class file must require local operating system representations. Linux operating system is able to run Linux representations only. It will not run any other operating system representations. So if you want to run this .class file on Linux operating system, definitely this .class file must have Linux representations. But here we are providing neutral representations. That neutral representations are not sufficient, where we must provide which one, Linux representations clearly. Next one, if you want to run our neutral dot class files too, files on Unix operating system, the dot class file must have which representations? No, Unix representations only. It should not have its own representations clearly. Similarly, Solaris operating system, similarly, which one they know? Windows operating system representations. Identify all these points. Okay, fine. So, in this particular scenario, our program will not be executed here. Exactly, in this particular situation, if you want to run our program there, then we must go for conversion mechanisms, which are converting our neutral bytecode into the local operating system represented code here. Answer my point. So, for that particular reason, number of converters are provided here. How these converters are provided by JVM? That means Java, no. Java, that means Sun Microsystems has provided this conversion mechanisms and execution both within a single mission. That single mission is called as which one? JVM. Tell me, sir, what is the responsibility of the JVM in Java? What are the two actions performed by JVM in Java? Two actions are very clear. One action is which one, conversion, converting our program from which one to which one, neutral bytecode to the local operating system representations. Second one is which one? Executing our code. So conversion and as well as execution, both are provided by JVM. Both are provided by Sun Microsystems within a single JVM. Now JVM is taking that neutral bytecode, converting into the native code. Native code is nothing but executable code. Then that executable code might be executed by Linux operating system or Unix operating system or Solaris or Windows, whatever it may be. JVM will run that examples directly. So we are able to get it clear. But here I have given two conclusions. What are the two conclusions, Kerno? First conclusion is which one? First one is Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVM only. If JVM is not available, no chances to say Java is a platform independent programming language. But JVM is which one then? JVM is which one? Platform dependent programming language. JVM is platform dependent to. Java is a platform independent programming language, but JVM is platform dependent. Not only this JVM, the total Java software is which one, is a platform dependent clearly. That's it. These are the points here we have to understand. Then after that, we completed which part, differences between .exe files and .class files here we understood. Tell me that first one is which one there? .exe files are exist in C and C++, whereas .class files are exist in which one? Java. .exe files are contains directly executable code, whereas .class files contains batch code. It is an intermediate code. .exe files are platform dependent files, whereas .class files are platform independent files. .exe files are able to provide less security for our application, whereas .class files are able to provide more security for our applications directly. That's it. These are the points here we have to understand about our content. Good, sir. This is a third difference we completed there. C and C++ are platform dependent, whereas Java is platform independent. These points we completed. Next one is fourth difference. Pointers are existed in now. C and C++, but pointers are not existed in now. Pointers are existed in C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. Right, sir. Anyway, then time may not be sufficient for that. Tomorrow, I will explain about this pointers concepts. Okay? Tomorrow, maximum I will plan for pointers, and the next topic is multiple inheritance. The topic is not available in Java. Why it is not available in Java? We will discuss about that points. Okay? Within 1 or 2 days of time, this total differences will be completed. Once if I complete the differences, then I will start which one? Java features. After that, Java features, Java naming conventions. Then after that, Java programming format. If I complete these parts, I'll go for which one? There no steps to prepare first Java application. Good, sir. And recognize this by this Saturday onwards. Saturday onwards, we have to come at 10 o'clock classes. Saturday onwards, I will start whoops concepts. Parallelly 11:30 to 1, I will go for which one, normal, first three topics here. Now we are discussing introduction. Next steps to prepare first application. Next language fundamentals. These three topics I will discuss here. And parallelly, I will start WOOPS concepts at 10 o'clock. Next Saturday onwards, coming Saturday onwards, we have to plan for that. I'll give intimation once again regarding that so that we can identify clearly. Right, sir? Thanks a lot for this, and tomorrow we'll meet at 11:30, and tomorrow we'll continue the same content. Thank you. Thanks a lot.